Right, so this is number 5 or 6. So as I was saying, we've got all this stuff on there, which I think is sawdust coming from where they burnt it. So this is obviously the bow deck. Yeah, it's not very good, is it? Because of the, unfortunately, the lights. I don't think I can open the curtains. I really might make a tiny bit of difference. Not a lot there. So we've got, I can move this around anyway. So we've got the bow deck, 2 pieces, and then we've got all this. Obviously that's going to be coming out and that's going to produce the hold. And then we've got, right now these 2 pieces here. These are the 2 pieces, once again in a previous video, if you saw the instruction, I can, where have I put the instruction sheet? So these 2 bits here are, when it's all on there, so that's these bits, and the bit that was in the previous part, I think the bit that was in the previous part, it's this bit and this bit, then 2 bits there, along with those 2 bits, form that bit on the bottom of the hull before you start cranking it. So that's not too bad. Let me put that to one side in case I need it again for reference. So they go on the hull and then they will have to be bent down over the frames at some point. So that's not too bad. A nice bit of veneer. It's not solid, but it's not weak. There's no damage on it, that's the main thing. So that's looking alright. So there's a fair few bits. I didn't expect to have this many bits. So there's quite a lot of stuff in this. There's a lot of this burny stuff. Let's have a look. Whoops. You had that crack then, it didn't break anything, it just pushed that bit out. So now we've got what look like parts of the, maybe going around one of parts of the superstructure. So these are the bits that go up the hull that we were looking at in the instructions. I think way back when in the instructions was the bits that I looked at, if I can find them. So they went up, all these grab rails going up here, look. So at least you don't get a template obviously, so at least you don't have to drill all them out. I can see right through them, so that's fine. That's for all the little grab rails that are going up to tractors, ladders. These, I'm taking it, all these holes. Well, this is pretty good actually. All the holes are gonna, I presume, are gonna be where they will be where the columns will go through for the handrails. So you don't have to drill them all out, which is a shame really. You should have had to have drilled it out, it would have made it even more challenging. Stern deck. This will come out, so you'll be left with being able to get in there. That could be anything, there'd just be, so that's not too bad. And it just keeps going on. Oh, that's a thick one. Yeah, that's a thick one. A lot more stuff on this one. There's a lot of wood here. I'll give you that. This is going to be some builds. You can take some building actually. This is not going to be a 10-minute job. This ain't going to be like, you know, a plastic model kit. You can say this is an out-of-the-box build. So if I built the Bismarck, which I'm building at the moment, out of the box, and I didn't have the Pontos and MK1 upgrade kits, and I wasn't using all the upgrade kits, I would probably build that in about 4 to 6 months. The Prince Eugene and the Prince of Wales, two Tamiya kits, I built them in 2 months out of the box. So basically you can call a wooden model an out of the box build. I reckon that's an out of the box build, because you're building everything out of the box, and it's all, you're building it all together, so nothing's made up for you. That's with a plastic model, a lot of it is already made up and you just put 2 bits, maybe 3 bits together. In the case of the Bismarck, all the superstructures are just one piece. Excuse me. And then we've got bits that are, I'm not sure what they are, to be fair. Might be parts of the superstructure, might be parts of the, going around the hall. We've got funny looking bits. There you are, look, all the grab rails, all the pins are made up for the grab rails. All these grab rails, so there's got to be a lot of them in there. It'll be interesting to see when we look through all the bits, what they look like. Then we've got all the various, whatever all these are going to be doing. There are some small bits. All these bits are all come out. Whether they're used as doors or windows, I'm not sure. No idea. That is probably part of the maybe part of the superstructure looking down. So that's a pretty good bit of stuff. Well, a lot of stuff on there. And then this, the final one. Yeah, this is a tricky one, look at that. So this is obviously, where are we starting from? Let's start from here. So this is 32881. So this is obviously the frames. What would be the bulkheads in a normal model. They're actually quite big. I didn't expect them to be that big. I'm trying to think now what I've built before. The Titanic, I had 22 bulkheads. I built the Sanson, that was bulkheads. I built the fishing vessel, can't remember the name, bulkheads. Yeah, I've not built a plank-on frame model before. All the wooden models I built plank-on bulkhead. So this could be really interesting to see how good this comes out. How good I can be at, I mean this is the challenge, you see. This is a massive, big, different challenge to, as I say, to building in plastic. So we've got the various bulkheads, you know, the frames. They're bulkheads for all intents and purposes, bulkheads. We've got solid bulkheads here. This is what I mean, you see, this is a solid bulkhead. That's a frame. And then, I don't know what that is. So you've got all that. That's quite an extensive bit of woodwork there. So let's have a look what we've got in here. Right now, what we've actually got is staples. Right now, let's make sure we don't lose any of this. Alright, bit of boltwood. So this is damaged. Spulsa. This is what goes on the front to form the bulge. You've got 2 pieces off and 2 pieces off to make the bow and the bulge. So that's going to be interesting. You have to actually work on that one. We've got a bit of doweling, a bit of stupid stuff that they haven't put in stuff. So a bit more doweling, so mass obviously. So that's quite nice, that's a fairly decent size, feels strong. We've got, that goes in there, we've got propeller parts. I love it when they do this, I really do. So we've got the bits that are going to go in for the propellers. There's something in the instructions about taking something off of this. So obviously the back of the hull, propellers inside that. Very interesting, they're quite large then. That's interesting. Let me try and see how big the propellers are. And then we've got the various rigging cords. That's solid. I'm not sure whether I like white. I don't always like white. I sometimes prefer to have black so you can see it. Right, where's that? Right, that's what they should have done in the first place, instead of having it all coming out all over the place. Another bit of whatever that's for. Not sure why that's a nice bit of rope. Nice bit of detail in that. We've got a thinner rope there. That's that thinner. And then we've got a very thin rope. So obviously there is a, what did I say? Look at this. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So this is obviously rigging. Once again, as I say, I think I might change it from white to black. I don't know why I'm doing that, because I can't see a thing that I'm doing. Right. So that goes across there. That just keeps that. Okay, so that's a decent bit of stuff there. Now, let's have a look at the boats. So let's see if we can open this. How's they put that together? I've stapled it just there. Let's see if I can get that staple out. So that didn't open at all. Right. So let's see what we've got in here. Right, so we've got silly. They're not too bad, I suppose, but they're not brilliant, are they? They do let themselves down, unfortunately, Billings, for some of the stuff they do. They make it, they do such a nice kit. That's very flimsy. They make such a nice kit and they go and do that. You know, that's not even fitting in there very well. That's horrible. So that will fit in there. I mean, it's alright, it's not terrible, but it's no, it looks like there should be something else in there because there's another little bit of ridge there. Okay, they're not terrible, but look how shiny they are. It really is. It would have been nice. They're big enough. They are big enough boats. They could have either made them bread and butter. I've seen that done with some boats. They could have made bread and butter models of these little boats, or they could have made some little tiny plank on bulkhead boats, you know, rather than doing that. Oh, there's nothing terribly wrong with it, but it would be better if it was a bit better than that. I've got all sorts in here. Should I, shouldn't I? Yeah, they can go in there, can't it? It can go in there and get stapled back together, I suppose. So let's have a look what we've got. You need to do things like this anyway, just to make sure nothing's broken. So we've got some nice propellers. Bit flimsy. Screw in. So a decent little set of propellers there. We've got decent ladders. The ladders are not too bad actually, to be fair. Better than them wooden ladders that we pointed out before. Would have been, you see, this is where, well, I suppose, I'm not sure when this kit was made. I've not seen an actual I'm not seeing actual time span, a time date on it anywhere. It's probably late 70s. So probably they weren't introducing photo etching to kits at that point. But I'm not sure that you would want that in photo etch. This would be nice if plastic kit makers would do this as well. You know, I mean, a plastic kit, you know, with the Bismarck, it's got the plastic ladders, which can be replaced with photo etch. But the plastic ladder, the photo etch, you have to bend them up like that, and it's horrible. But the plastic ladders on plastic models are solid. There's no gaps through them. So actually, I like them. I do like them, to be fair. I'm rather pleased with them. And then we've got the props. You know, that's fairly decent. That's pretty thick. I say thick, I mean there's quite a width in that. So there's going to be big props somewhere to go through that. I suppose they have to do some stuff in plastic. No idea what that is. It's got a detail in it. I think it would be something that would sit on the deck somewhere. Maybe it might be part of that. Is that the... oh, I forget what you call it now. It's got the little bit in there. I don't know if that's got... I can't see any detail on it. Oh no, it's got a bit of detail in that. You can see almost like a clock face. So that, I suppose, might be part of that. And that's the thing that I've forgotten. And then we've got various things. I don't know if there's something written on that. No, there's nothing written on that. I can't see anything written on there. Oh no, is there? I can't see anything written on that. Let's have a look at the magnifier here. No, there's nothing written on it. I thought it might have had the number written on there, you know, a name or something. Nothing written on that. The worst case scenario there, of course, would have been them writing Billings or something on there. Put that past some of these things. So we've got them. We've got a fair few of them. We've got the anchors there. A little clear bit there, which will undoubtedly come into it. So we've got 3 anchors. Only got a minute left. They could be portholes, I suppose. Not sure. They could be portholes. There's a few of them. Make sure I don't... oh, there's a little plant on that came off the thing. Make sure I don't actually lose any of this, of course. Now let's see what I can put back in here. So that's quite impressive. There's quite a decent bit of stuff though. So I reckon this is so far going to make into a really nice model. Concentrate, you know, it's not going to be like a plastic model that you can do depending on any alterations you make. You know, HMS Hood is the longest it's taken me to do a plastic model, and that took 13 months. The Bismarck might come out about a year or so. So whereas a plastic model you can do in maybe a year or so. Something like these little models. I'm just going to run out in a minute. I'm gabbing away and I'll suddenly look up and realise it's run out. So let's put all this back together. Make sure the propellers don't get broke. Put them bolts back in there. And of course that won't close up now because I've done things to it. There's made things altered, so now we can't close it. Oh, I lost a bit. That would have been clever, wouldn't it? Right, now, so that will close back up.